Good morning, or good whatever time it is, wherever you are. Here now. It is Monday morning at 8:30. And today I'm going to talk about self-sabotage because that's something that affects just about everybody. I'm going to give people a few minutes, well, a minute or two to come on in. So feel free to jump to 3.5 minutes in if you're watching this on replay. Let me go fix my links. Hope you're having a good day this morning so far. My morning's been pretty good. No. Here we go. No, not on and. Sometimes it's the little things that make the big difference. All right. Hope you all had a good weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. It was nice. The weather was great. Got outside a bunch of times. It's good stuff. I love this time of year. There's a bunch of trees in my neighborhood. And is it me, or do all the trees look fuller this year than in previous years? Maybe it's just me. Maybe it happens the same thing every year, and I'm just looking at it from, a comparison with the winter. But man, it just seems like the trees are just fuller and have more leaves and stuff this year. Maybe it's an East Coast thing. So today I'm going to talk about self-sabotage. This is something that I think a lot of people, probably most people, have some issues with. And it's one of the things that I help clients with in almost every single case. Almost every single case, there's self-sabotage there. So I want to talk about that because self-sabotage is something that, well, it's a headwind. It slows you down. And most of the time it's completely unnecessary. You don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need it. So we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Let me get my stuff set up here. And we're going to get started. And yeah, there we go. No? Yeah, there we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Daily Upgrade with Jason Andrews. My name is Jason Andrews, and I'm a hypnotist, which is pretty cool because I know how to change things on the inside. And today I want to talk about self-sabotage. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to be doing some hypnosis work under the hood, rewiring your brain in real time while I talk about it. So that's pretty cool. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a big, deep breath, build up a little bit of tension, and then just let everything go. All right, ready? Breathe in. Hold it. And let everything go. Good. And now we're just going to take all those thoughts that are all over the place, wherever your brain has been up to this point today. We're just going to take all of it and bring it all in together here. So you can focus in. Now, as I said, today I'm going to talk about self-sabotage. Good morning, Chad. And why? Why self-sabotage? Well, because self-sabotage is almost universal. I mean, can you think about self-sabotage that you've done? I mean, we've all done it at some point, right? Haven't we? Right? It's almost universal. And the reason is because our minds are complex. Our minds are very powerful. They are very, they have a lot of capacity and capability. And it's not so much uh, like a very simple creature does not really have self sabotage. Like a single celled organism, there's not much self sabotage there. Ants. Do ants have self sabotage? Probably not. They're very, if then, do this, do that. I mean, ants can be modeled by just a few simple lines of code, really, like wander around. If you find food, bring it back to the nest and lay a scent trail. If you're wandering, and then go back. If you're wandering around and you encounter a scent trail, take it in the direction of where it gets weaker, because that's where the ant with the food came from. So you follow that to the food. Oh, now that I found food, I take it back to the nest. Real simple. There's no like, should I do this? Should I do that? There's no part of me wants this, part of me wants that. That doesn't work for ants. But the more complex an organism gets, the more likely, the more capacity they have to have competing priorities. And humans, being the immensely complex and amazingly engineered by evolution things that we are, we can have self-sabotage. And that just means that you've got different things working at towards different aims at the same time. Now, if those aims are completely aligned, or one aim is a subset of another aim, no problem. But if you get two different things, that can try to pull your resources in different directions. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing, because you're fighting against yourself. You're not just trying to change the external world. You're trying to, you're swimming upstream, because you're trying to swim in two directions at once. Right? What's the old saying? The the hound that chases two rabbits at the same time doesn't catch either of them. Right? And we all know this. We know what this feels like. We know what this is like. Now, self sabotage is something that, interestingly, we call it self sabotage, but it's really not. It's just that you want two separate things at the same time. That's what it really means. That's what it really means. I'll give you an example of, actually, this happened just the other day. I was talking with someone about working with me in a client relationship, and he said, "Well, I really want these results." I'm like, "Great, let's do it." And he says, "Well, but I don't have a lot of cash right now." And he's like, "I don't want to spend the money." I'm like, "Okay, so you want this, but you also want this." Okay, that's a form of split priorities. Now, we interpret that as self sabotage, but it's not. It's just split priorities. And the thing is, when you think about it that way, it's just two things that you want at the same time. It's not necessarily sabotage, because we, as conscious minds, we consciously align with one or the other, right? We consciously align with the one, right? I want to do this. But maybe there's another side of it that causes hesitation. And the side that causes hesitation isn't wrong. It's not bad. It's just the side of things that consciously you're not aligned with. Now that's weird, right? We experience it as we've picked a side. Isn't that weird? Because you think that you're just one entity, but you're not. A human is made up of lots of different um, parts. I'll call it parts. There's other terms for it in the technical world. Some people call them ego states. Some people call them. I heard somebody was calling them mental cells, right? But it's just parts. This part wants this, and that part wants that, and it's like they're far apart from each other, but you just got to get them to get closer to each other, right? And then they stop being far apart, right? And when we say like, well, the two sides are far apart, that's metaphorical, but it's also literal on the inside. When you take those two things that are far apart and put them in the same space together, then they're not far apart anymore. And then you realize, oh gosh, okay, we can do this. I can do this now. This is going to work. This is going to be okay. It's not a conflict. This is something that I can move forward with. Right? Does that make sense? I mean, because when you have those two competing priorities, but you realize, well, there are commonalities and certain negatives and positives can cancel out, it ends up working. Right? Does that make sense? I know I explained that in a very quick way, but if you think about it, you really ought to catch that idea that it really is just two separate priorities. And when you think about it like that, you almost realize that okay, it's the I picked one of them that I want more, but my subconscious mind may not want one of them to win. My subconscious mind might want both of them, and it's stuck. And then that creates a conflict between a what I call a vertical conflict. Like a horizontal conflict is I want two things. A vertical conflict is my conscious mind wants something and my subconscious mind wants something else. Right, so you have two different kinds of that, two different kinds of self-sabotage, but they are related. So when you allow that to exist, right? Allow the idea that yes, there can be horizontal differences of opinion and there can also be vertical differences of opinion. When you allow that to exist, it becomes something you can use and work with. If you're sort of, oh no, the only thing that exists is that I want my thing that I want, and I don't know what's going on because I can't really seem to get it. That's a limited model. Well, allow the vertical and the horizontal things to exist, and suddenly you have an effective frame from which to address it. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So, as I said, a lot of what I do with clients is to eliminate, neutralize the self sabotage so you can move forward. So I'm not gonna, I'm not giving away the farm here, guys. But I want you to understand that no matter what your self sabotage is, whether it's vertical or horizontal, no matter how long you've had it, it's solvable. It is absolutely solvable. It is completely solvable. So now I did do a couple of things here to resolve something. You might feel or sense that your mind is processing kind of a lot right now. That's very common, or that your mind is going, you're thinking of things that maybe you haven't thought of in a while. If that's going on, that's just a sign that it's working. So I'm going to leave it at that for today because this is Monday and we're just getting started. But I think I'm going to do a little bit of a series on this. Maybe every Monday is going to be, I call it Motivation Monday. I like that one. That's good. Motivation Monday. Yeah. And Feel Good Friday, right? Stick with me all week. Things will get better every day at 8:30 in the morning. So if you enjoyed this or found this interesting or useful, feel free to share it with others. Check out the program links in the description. And, I'm here to help people. That's what I want to do these days. So it helps the algorithm if you like and subscribe, but that's up to you. So have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you tomorrow morning at 8:30.